Nice to know you're back here again at Healthlight. Dr. Williams-Singh, acupuncture physician, food therapist, and much more. Hi, everyone. I want to know, do you think that there is a link? I have the answer, but do you think that there's a link between your good health, your thriving quality health, and lack of truthful information about ingredients that are placed in certain foods? Unbelievable types of ingredients that's utilized, that occupies and contains in certain foods. I remember some time ago when I realized, or I found out, that Christopher Columbus did not discover America. Now, I remembered also that was in the school books. It was written in the school books. To come to a day and find out that is not true, that really made me start to think about what is real versus what is not real. It also provoked my mind to question everything. What you're looking at on the screen, of course, is the digestive system, from the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. And of course, the liver is involved in the processing of anything that you're consuming, including the gallbladder. Take a good look at that, because that is what you use. Those are the organs that needs to have fitness in order to maintain good, proper absorption and health. Bagels. Bagels and commercial breads. There is an item called L-Cystine. It contained in these items, it is utilized to condition the flour, the dough, and it also assists, like most packaged foods, there's always going to be something odd that's placed in these packaged foods in order to maintain shelf life. That means it's not fresh. That means it's been sitting there for a while. Now, what that means is bagels and a lot of commercial breads, and I'm sure you could check on this yourself if you want to go further into it. L-Cystine means hair, human hair, feathers, duck feathers, anything pertaining to hair. And again, we're talking about animals and also human hair. That is what they use, L-Cystine. Take a look at it. I am recognizing that most people are most significantly interested in what the calories are contained in each food and how much the serving is, etc., etc. You could widen that scope and start observing what is the ingredients in these packaged foods. Yes, it's true. Each country has its own regulation. Each country has their own way of what they allow to be sold. Depending on the country, that dictates a lot. And what I just said, bagels are all over the world. So are commercial breads, but you do have a choice. You could start getting things that's fresh when it comes to an alternative. If you choose not to have hair in the bagel and in the commercial breads. Take a look at that the next time you go to the store. L-Cystine is what they use in those items. Another thing that I like to convey to you is about sugars. Certain, especially the white granulated sugars, they use bone, B-O-N-E, bone chard, in order to make and produce fancy white granulated sugar. And Not all of the sugars utilize that. That is a fact, but mostly that particular type of sugar. I already did a video about sugar. If you'd like to take a look at that, just look backwards in the videos. There's a video there about sugars and what it comes from and the variety of sugars. Now let's move on to this. Now this is going to be very different. It has to deal with coffee. This particular coffee, it's $35 to $100 per cup. But the beauty about this particular product is that you know in advance where it comes from and the processing, because most people are aware of this. It's called Capue Lupa. And historically, it appears as though this particular coffee began in Indonesia, but it's sold worldwide. I'm going to show you a picture of this particular coffee. Take a close look at the screen. That is Capue Lupa. You can see the coffee beans, right? But do you know what's filling in those coffee beans? What are the fillers that's there? Why does it look like that? Again, remember, it's $35 to $100 per cup. I'm going to give you the processing for this particular coffee. What you're looking at is on the screen is the following. What you're looking at on the screen is a cat. It's called a civet cat. This cat is what they use in order to make Capue Lupa. Again, what I love about the fact of this particular coffee is that you know in advance how it's processed. How this particular coffee is processed is the following. The cat, mostly civet cat, will ingest, and you see that the cat is caged. That you could get from Wikipedia if you want to know more about this. Anyhow, the cat ingests the berries or the beans for the coffee. The enzymes is not sufficient for the cat to do the digestion and churn it into something smaller molecules. So what happens is it stays in the cat's stomach and ferments. After the fermentation finally leaves the system of the civet cat and it comes out in the excrement. At that point, the excrement is washed away from the coffee bean or what's left of it. And there is what you use to make Capue Lupa, $35 to $100 per cup. This photo represents the digestive tract of a human being. But basically what you're seeing here is I'm showing you vividly what occurs with the civet cat. It is not digested where it crushes up. It ferments. After the fermentation, it leaves the body and it goes through the canal, the intestines, and then they wash it off and make coffee. The food industry is a great big industry. It makes money. Nothing wrong with that. However, what if you're walking around with a condition and you're not aware of the ingredients placed in certain foods that could mitigate or change some level of your health because of it? These are the things that one looks at when one examines food therapy and retrieving the best possible health success for any patient. Come back to your health light. Until the next video. Dr. Williams-Singh, acupuncture physician, food therapist, herbalist, and more.